it's just, we live very complicated lives. We're just very, we're worker bees, you know, in the grand scheme of things. We put our lives in these compartments on a daily basis. You know, we wake up and we get ready, we take a shower, we have our coffee, we make our breakfast, if you're lucky. We get our kids on the bus, we go to work, we sit in traffic, we deal with this, we do that, and then, you know, you come home and it's the grind of, okay, you gotta clean the house, you gotta pay the bills, you gotta, you know, take the kids to wherever they need to go and all of that. And we've kind of like lost touch with life because we're so busy being and doing.
It's very noisy.
It is very noisy. And we've made it so. We've really made it so complicated. But, so when we talk about energy, like who thinks about that? You know, the people that think about it are the quantum physicists and, you know, the scientists and the inventors of such. But the average person, really, I mean, who thinks about energy, you know? But I was actually forced to learn about energy.
Is that how you got into kinesiology?
That's exactly how. Yeah, I had gotten very ill. You know, I was a worker bee, you know, did accounting for many, many years, and I just got up, went to work, did my thing, occasionally went out to dinner, you know, and that was it, you know, just did it again and again and again, worked 60 hours a week, didn't think about anything, you know, other than what I wanted to achieve at some point in my life, and then I got really ill. I got very ill, almost incapacitated, went to every doctor under the sun, and had multiple tests done, was misdiagnosed several times, was given medications for things I didn't have, had side effects for medications, you know, for things I didn't have. You know, it was just this horrifying downhill spiral that just got worse and worse over a 6-week period of time. And I knew, I just had this sense that I was dying, and this urgency of somebody's got to help me. And of course I just continued to seek anybody who would see me. And finally I had gone to the neurologist. And, you know, I went through their little thing, bend over, you know, touch your nose, touch your toes, walk this way, do this, do that. And he said, well, you know, I'm sorry, Miss Davis, but neurologically you're fine. And I had had a migraine headache from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed for 6 weeks straight. I could no longer function anymore. And I remember leaving his office in tears saying, what do I do? Now, mind you, I didn't have a belief in God, so I wouldn't like even think to pray about this or ask for guidance, or, you know, that was just so, you know, conceptually wrong in my world, you know, like there's nobody to help me. What do I do? And finally I found myself in this parking lot of a health food store. Now, I had never walked into a health food store in my life. You know, I mean, as far as I was concerned, they were weird. You know, those people were weird. And why did I give you that stuff now? Give me that stuff. I remember very clearly. That's a story I'll never forget. So I found myself, you know, at this health food store, crying. And, you know, I was afraid to go in. Because all I knew about health food stores was, you know, the stuff tastes like cardboard, the people are really strange, they're tree huggers and wear Birkenstocks. That was it. And they probably liked the Grateful Dead, and that was cool, but outside of that, you know, like I had like no connection to this kind of stuff. Right. And I had gone in there weepy, you know, and scared at this point because this was definitely outside of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And I went to the woman and I said, look, you've got to help me. You know, please, you got to give me something. My head's about to pop off my shoulders. And she started going like this, and I'm saying, that's not really what I meant. You know, she put her hand on me and she was doing this stuff. I mean, I come to find out later on that she was muscle testing me, but at the time I had no idea what that meant or what she was doing or whatever, so she was just weird as far as I was concerned. And she went over and she got this little business card off of her very chaotic cork board by the door, and she handed it to me and she said, "This woman can help you." And I remember looking at the card, and all that was on there was this woman's name, her phone number, and a picture of an angel. And I was like, whoa, you know, what is this?
Right.
And I remember going home saying, all right, I've got nothing to lose. You know, the doctors haven't been able to tell me anything. And so I called her, and when I finally got to speak to her, you know, she was very sweet, very, very sweet woman, and a little chatty catty, and I was like, oh, I just need help, you know, I don't know, I don't care, or whatever. And I said, look, I don't know who you are or what you do, but if you can help me, I would love you for the rest of my life. And funny enough, that was like 18 years ago, and she was just over for dinner 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So, yeah, but she was a kinesiologist, and she had discovered that I had carbon monoxide poisoning.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, and the doctors couldn't find this? They weren't looking for it.
Right.
They weren't looking for that. So unless they're specifically suspecting that or looking,
what did she do that she determined that you had?
well, she was muscle testing the body.
Okay.